Well, hello, this is Ecom Rebel. We're on our live stream again. Every night, usually around this time, we do live stream. Sometimes a little bit earlier, sometimes a little bit later. So, welcome Mr. Bazinga, how you doing? Good to have you guys on board tonight. So, the first thing I'm going to do, as we do every night, is give away some Bitcoin Cash. So, I'm going to select a winner from the last post I did on YouTube. And all you have to do is like, subscribe, hit the bell icon on the channel, and leave a comment or a question. Yeah, I always like questions. A comment or question with your Bitcoin Cash address, and that way when I draw the winner, I can send you some Bitcoin Cash. So let's do that now. Dean Gibril, best regards, Profit Guys. Thanks, Dean. You are a winner. So let's send some Bitcoin Cash your way. Easy $10. Now, Dean, when you get the cash, just let me know. Just put it in the comments and let me know that you received it. Thank you. Alrighty, let's get into it. So no questions for Dean, but that's okay, all good. Alright, so let's see who else is back on live with us. At the moment, we've only got Mr. Bazinga. Now, Mr. Bazinga, if you have any questions, you've got my total attention. If you want anything answered, I'm here for you. Alright, so think of something to put in there for if you need to know. Anything you would like to know, let me know where you're at with, you know, what level are you at in the crypto space? Are you sort of just learning? Are you been doing it for 6 months? Do you know how to use wallets? All that sort of stuff. So anything, if you want to know, we'll see what we can do to help you out. Alright, so while we get some questions there, I'm just going to have a quick look at the market. Which I'd already seen the market today, so I knew it was all green, which was exciting. So we had Bitcoin 5%, up 5%, Ethereum up 11%. I was pretty excited about that because I hold a fair bit of ETH. Ripple up 6, nearly 7, Bitcoin Cash 6, Cardano up 8, nearly 9%. Now Stellar didn't really move much. Litecoin up 4, and NAM up 20%. And rounding out, actually went all the way down maybe to 16 where VeChain was only minus, and pretty much Populous I think was high there, 35%. So it was a good all-round day for the market, so that was pretty good. So yeah, saw some gains there with your current holdings, so that was pretty exciting. So basically, if you held any of these currents today, you would have had a bit of a gain, so that was good. So Bitcoin was at 11,862. And as you can see from the chart, we're pretty much running sideways at the moment. Ethereum looks like a little bit of a trend there. We nearly hit 1200. Ripple's still showing like a 7-day downward trend. Bitcoin Cash, I would say, similar, maybe trading in a sideways, but we're at 1700. Stellar's got a nice little 7-day trend there. Notice that. So it's sort of, even though the market's against it, it's still going well. So that's interesting. And NEM's pretty flat across the board. So yeah, all around it was a good day. When I had a look at some of the news that came out today, there was 2 pieces I wanted to talk about. This was really good for people that were affected by the hack at Coincheck. So Coincheck's decided to refund, you know, $534 million. Wow, that's amazing. So there's 2 things here. Like, obviously, they wanted to continue to trade, and basically, if they didn't do this, it would be all over Red Rover, okay? So this was probably a smart thing to do, and you're thinking, well, you know, that's $534 million that they've got to come up with. Yeah, that's a problem. But, for example, Coinbase, I'll bring up that article. So Coinbase profit. Let's see if it actually brings up how much profit they made. I think this. We'll have a look at this article. Because I wasn't sure if it was profit or revenue. Let's see what it says. Okay, so they made 1.25 billion in revenue, which is pretty good. So now when they're making that much revenue, obviously it's not, all profit. I don't know what their profit margins are on this, but the point is that they're making a lot of money, okay? And so when these hacks happen, like for $500 million, obviously it's a bad thing and it's going to set them back. But if they're only, like, they've probably invested so much money into setting up, these businesses, that if they fall over, it affects all the investment, all the money that went into it. So this is why they'll continue. It'll probably take them another year to recoup these funds, perhaps. If they have any sort of, I don't know what their CoinCheck's revenues are, but if it's anything like, what's happening with Coinbase, it's a possibility that they're going to recoup that in 6 to 12 months. So yeah, that'll be interesting. They'll hopefully come back from that, and hopefully they'll discover who actually stole the funds and track them down. So that'll be interesting to see what happens there. I'm sure we'll hear more about it. The other little story I want to talk again about was Tether. So there was some other information that came out that the auditor that they had to handle basically the audit that they wanted to do. So just explain. I'll just read this part here verbatim. Okay, this really explains what Tether is. So Tether, the company, claims to receive deposits of US dollars from investors, following which they create the equivalent number of tethers, the currency, and give those tethers to the depositor. Tether claims to have $2.2 billion US dollars in deposit in its bank accounts. And now this is to back every Tether token in existence on a one-to-one basis, right? Because there's 2.2 billion tethers. Now, without an audit, it cannot be proven that Tether, in fact, has those reserves, or they're not being used for something besides backing those tokens, Tether tokens. So that's what they're talking about. And the auditor they had engaged to do this apparently hasn't been confirmed yet, but they're saying that they're not going to be doing the audit. So, and apparently this company is a big company, Friedman LLP. So it'll be interesting to see what happens, but it doesn't look like they're going to continue with the audit. Now, I can't imagine why, but this just adds more concerns about this Tether. So, maybe one day you'll wake up and you'll see the story about Tether and it completely collapsing. So, and also Charlie Lee, you know who that guy is, right? With Litecoin, he's also saying that now he's got a fair idea what's going on. So he's going on saying that the printing of the Tether is not backed by USD in the bank account. I urge Bitfinex and Tether to perform a third-party audit to prove their reserves. Please do the right thing. Thanks. So you've got people out there that are well known in the community saying these things, and then you've got basically the auditor not doing or not wanting to be involved in this. So unless they can find another auditor to do it, it's going to this is going to escalate. So it's going to become more popular as a news story, and eventually they're going to have pressure on them to come up with this audit, because at the end of the day, if you think you've, you can actually redeem it for tethers. If you go to them and say, oh, I want my cash out, it's like going to a bank that has no cash to give you. Or in the old days, you may have heard about run on the banks, where you're trying to get the bank to give you money, but they say, no, we can only give you a small amount, or we can't do that because they don't have enough money in the bank. Okay, that's the same as like what's happening with Venezuela, which I've talked about previously, how they tried to get money out of the bank, but because of the crisis over there with the currencies, the inflation, it's just worthless. So you go to get the bank, they don't actually have the physical cash to give you to take out of the bank. This is what will happen to Tether. It's just like what happened to BitConnect, except BitConnect was known to be a scam, a Ponzi scheme, and this is meant to be, legit. Okay, so be careful. If you have a different opinion about Tether, then please let me know. But basically, be careful with Tether, and when you're trading on these platforms, because when you sell your tokens and you think you're getting US dollars, you're really getting a Tether. and if something goes wrong, you hold nothing. It's not like if you hold crypto, possibly you could get it out, but this tether can be absolutely worthless. So yeah, just be careful of those sort of things. So I just wanted to cover those two bits of news. Let's have a look. Let's go back to what you guys are doing on the live stream. See who we got on. Welcome, Algie. How you doing? Yeah, the market's always up and down this week for sure. And you'd like me to do a review on OC, I don't know. How do you spell that? You've got OCTOIN. Is that how you spell it? Or is it meant to be spelled something differently? Something coin. I think you meant to say some OT coin or something. I'll have to check that for you. Is this not one of these dodgy other coins you want me to check you out? Like it's a Ponzi scheme coin? Because if it is, man, you got to get onto something else. All right, and we'll go back to Mr. Bazinga. That question, yeah. What are the miners mine? Okay, so if you're talking about like Bitcoin, right? So essentially, I haven't, like, I'll give it straight up. I haven't done mining here in Australia because our electricity is ridiculously expensive. If I tried doing any type of mining operation here, it would not be profitable. Now, I've already ran the tests. I was just trying to think of I might Google the site. This site. I can't remember the name of it, but I'll find it again. It's probably one of the better places to find out for mining Bitcoin. So no, and we use coins. It's not too bad. Have a look and find out some information. But there's another website which hopefully I'll find it. Mining Bitcoin hash rate crypto compare. I think it's that. No. Well, actually these are the two. These crypto compare. That's one. Let's open that up. That Coin Wars. I think Coin Wars is the other one. These are two sites I believe to be pretty good. Yep. So there's Bitcoin, that one, and there's Coin Wars. I think both these sites are, pretty good. So what you do is basically with the mining, right? If you've got a mining rig set up, you'd buy one, like say for example from Bitmain. So Bitmain is this website here. Now it's hard to get. You could probably try and get a second-hand unit. You could probably buy them on eBay. But basically, they're specialized mining hardware, like a computer that's designed to process and do calculations, right? And it's to solve these blocks, because essentially that's what they're doing. They're solving these blocks, and whoever gets lucky first gets it, and they actually get the Bitcoin. So they do L3s, L3 plus. This is an ant miner, okay, and they also with the Bitcoin you can switch between Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash. They offer wallets as well. So we'll just see what else they got. They also have pools, but you've got to be careful with pools because they can change the rules and regulations on you. I think just recently there was some pools, ant pools, I think it was. There's the Antminer S9. So each one does different things. So we'll have a look at the Antminer. So these only become available. I suggest you follow, say, Twitter, and if you want to get one of these. But you use these websites here, Bitcoin Mining and Crypto Compare. This can tell you how much profit you can make a day mining, okay? So in this scenario, right, you put in how much hashing power in gigahashes. I think it is, yep, that's gigahashes, your power consumption, your cost per kilowatt, and if you're running a pool, this is be the pool fee, okay? And then because you basically can be part of a pool, and that it increases your chances of finding Bitcoin. So this is another mining calculator which does basically breaks down the summary. So it tells you how much you're going to earn on a daily basis. So you're basically making in this scenario, $4.80 per day. So on a weekly, it's $33. monthly 144 and about $1,700 a year. Okay, and you would have to have a machine, or you invest in cloud mining, say with Genesis mining. And you would have to, with Genesis mining, you would buy a contract to get the equipment, and they would mine, and then you get payouts. Okay, but if you had the machine yourself, you've got to pay the power, and this is where it is. So obviously, if the power, so here's the power cost. They're saying on an hourly rate is 26 cents USD. And what you can do is you can just punch in your figures and just calculate how much you're going to get. So there's a couple of different things. You got the difficulty. This is how hard it is to actually solve the block. All right, and this becomes either less difficult or more difficult, and this is what makes it around the 10-minute confirmation mark for each block. Because with this amount of hashing rate that you need, and that means how much power the computer's got, and then the difficulty, how hard the math is to solve this block. Okay, getting these transactions. So once that, what happens is this will change in the future and become more difficult. Also, the block reward, it also reduces with Bitcoin. It will reduce in half. So in the future, it will actually reduce to, instead of 12.5, it'll be like 6.25 or something like that. And that's already set in place, and that will reduce. So in the future, they'll get less for it, but they would hope that the price of Bitcoin is doubled in that, I think it's a 3-year period. We'll have to check the date on that. And essentially, you've got to pay for your hardware costs, and then you've got to pay for your actual electricity. So in my country, it's too expensive, but in other countries where it's cheaper, you can actually make a profit from doing it. Okay, so that is the idea behind it. And there's a lot more involved if you do it. But yeah, the good thing about it is, if you participate with some of the different pools, you're going to be getting daily payouts. It does take time to do it, because if you use your hashing rate and connect to a pool, then you've got all these machines that are actually trying to win that next 12 BTC, and then the 12 BTC, that reward is then split between the whoever's in the pool, depending on how much hashing power that you contribute to the pool. So it's definitely a way to make income, but one, you've got you do make it like a daily profit if you do connect to these pools, but there's always fees you have to pay. And it's like anything. You've got to believe that Bitcoin's going to be worth more in the future, and you've got to invest the capital, and you got to have electricity. It's got to be cheap. Okay, so you can do it, or you can participate in contracts. Yeah, so there's lots of formulas. There's a fair bit to learn with the mining. I can possibly try and get some more information about it. Like this one here, you can put in the hashing power, your power consumption. This is the power consumption of the unit. So for example, on an AMP miner, this one here, this is for mining Bitcoin. It will tell you, if we scroll down, it should actually have some specs. Where is it? Could be, maybe it was on another page I saw it. They actually break down, you can actually punch in these units, and they have a certain power consumption when you read the specs. So depending on the power consumption, right, and how much it is power, that's where it is. If you've got cheap electricity, and this is why it's been in China, and this is why they're moving to Russia and other places now. They have to find other places that have got cheap power. So that's the reason behind it, and it's very profitable. They wouldn't do it if they weren't making money, and lots of it. So, and I remember years ago, I haven't got the numbers. I'll try and get some numbers out of some of these companies that are doing the mining. But it's significant. And to give you an idea, every 10 minutes, 12 BTC is given out. Okay, so there's a lot of BTC given out per day. And at Bitcoin, what is it right now? So Bitcoin's, you know, $11,000-12,000 US. So I'm get my trusty calculator out. So we go 12,000 US, you know, times 6. So this is in an hour. It'd be $72,000 in an hour, and then times that by 24 hours, which is, 1, 2, 3. Make sure I get that right. 17. Now 1.7. I think it's $1.7 million a day. I think that. Now I'll double check those calculations and for tomorrow just to make sure I got the right math. But it looks like about 17 million a day of Bitcoin is being mined. I will check that and make sure it's correct. But that's just an estimate. So that's how much is being mined per day. And that is being given to the miners. So if that kind of money is being used, and then let's say that it's 1.7 million. It could be more than that. It seems pretty low. Maybe I've done my maths wrong, but whatever it is, it's huge, and there's a lot of money to be made, and that's why they'll continue to do it. They'll do it until they basically go broke, I imagine, and maybe the electricity is too costly. At that time, maybe Bitcoin will switch to a different thing and maybe use less power or something. I don't know. Other cryptos use different methods that are less power hungry. So it's an interesting thing. But yeah, I mean, that whole spending a lot of money to have the hardware to have this network, to get rewarded from it, and having to invest a lot of money, that also helps contribute to the being a stable network. Whereas if other networks they didn't have to invest the money in, then it might be not as consistent. There may not be enough power to for the network. So this is the sort of things that people look at. But yeah, this I can go on a little bit more, but we'll leave it there for hopefully these two sites. Coinwars.com, that's COIN Wars, WARZ.com, and they've got a lot of information there. And the other one is called CryptoCompare.com, and they've got a mining section. This is a pretty good site if you want to know a fair bit of stuff. Don't click on any ads, but just check out the information they've got. So it's pretty good. And Bitmain is the main place, but they always sell out of this stuff. So it's hard to get the miners. When you can get them, they do sell out, and they're pretty hexy. And then on eBay, they're pretty expensive as well. And you can get them like other places as well, but they bring out newer versions that can process faster and be more efficient. So that's what you've got to look out for as well. So we'll close those two down. Hopefully that answers a little bit about the mining for you. I don't mind because I make more money with the just in normal trading and with coins themselves. Now, one thing's for sure: if the market does go down, if you're just holding the coin, your value goes down. Okay. However, you're not making any income with it. If you have mining gear and you're mining, you're going to be making profit pretty regularly, nearly every day. Okay, if you're a part of a pool, so you'll be making that profit, and then you'll be making money while other people aren't making money. Okay, so that's the benefit of it. But when you've got to invest a lot of money for that, and then if you get into ICOs or you get into some really good coins, the 10x or 20x or something like that, it leaves the mining for dead. So you can invest. I was looking at something the other day. I'll try and get the stats off him. I was talking to NG, and he had basically the pros and cons versus mining and versus like ICOs, for example. And when he did the numbers, it just made so much sense to be doing the ICOs rather than mining. He doesn't know any mining before, even though he's got Genesis contracts. He's not investing anymore in the Genesis contracts because the amount of money you can make from coins, getting coins, choosing the right coins, or getting into ICOs, or even trading is way more than what you can do with just mining. So yeah, that's good. All right, so let's have a quick look. So Mr. Bazinga, I don't really have much invested in crypto. I have like $30 in Bitcoin and $10 in Bitcoin Cash. Yesterday I bought hash power on space mining. Okay, so what you need to do, I mean, I don't know which country you're from, Mr. Bazinga. You got to start somewhere, and I think the first amount of Bitcoin I got, this was when it was, you could actually move it and not lose it all, or in fees. But it was like $5 or less than $10 I got in Bitcoin, and since then I've got accumulated a bit more. But at every chance I get, I try and regularly do payments from like my normal money that you get. Let's say you work a job, right? You'll get that money and you allocate some aside. And honestly, this is the best strategy you can do. So if it's available and you're working a job or any type of income, if you can allocate just a small portion like savings, instead of like putting under your bed or something, or putting in the bank, put it into crypto. So it might be, in my country, let's say you earn $700 or $800 a week in a job, you might put away $20 or $50 a week, or if you can, you try and put that away, and accumulates over time. And also, because you're buying at regular intervals, it also doesn't affect you with the price. Like, for example, if you're excited about crypto and you've got 10, 20, 30, 40,000, and then you just come into the market and buy, what happens if you bought when Bitcoin was at $20,000 and you got into the market then and put in, you sold your house and put all the money in, or you went and borrowed money to get into Bitcoin at 20 when it was at 20K because you thought it was going to keep going up. So this is a problem. It's come back to 10,000 and 12,000. You would have lost half your money if you'd sold, but your valuation would be half what it is now. If you're putting in incrementally over time, that risk is averted, because you're actually spreading your risk over a different the time frame. Obviously, if you want to put large amounts in, you can. It might be $1,000 a week you're putting in, for example. Whatever it is, you break it up over a continual time period, and that way, with the price fluctuations, you're going to not get burned if you put a lump sum in. So you've just got to start, continually putting money in, and it will accumulate. And I've seen personally a few people that have started out that way, just put small amounts away consistently, and then what happens is they build on that. But I think that if you don't have enough from your job perhaps to put into it, if you learn how to trade, if you learn how to invest in ICOs, if you learn a skill in this space, or you offer a product and service, or have a skill that you have, and then you can sell that for cash or sell it for crypto, that's going to help you build your portfolio. And once you do some research and learn how to get the right coins, your portfolio is going to expand. All right. Okay, so Algie says Octoin. So okay, we'll spell it that way. Let's check out this coin you want me to have a look at. How are we going for time? Half an hour. We'll just see what other questions we got. Let's see if this is some dodgy coin or it's a real coin. I'm going to check it on CoinMarketCap. This is where real coins are. Well, generally real coins. Okay, I got no match. I got no match for crypto coin on CoinMarketCap. Ooh. Wow, it's very colorful. Let's have a look. So first of all, they got wallets. Says they're on GitHub. I'll check that out. They got an Explorer. Okay, that's fine. Mining. An OCC program. What's that? I don't know. What else is there? Login. About. Let's have a look at FAQs. Let's look at their GitHub. One commit 3 days ago. So it's a digital currency. Blah, blah, blah. See this, how it says, okay, I know it's only 3 days ago, maybe it's new. But see how it's one commit, one branch, one contributor? That's as dodgy as hell. Right there. You know, I would say that's pretty dodgy. Yeah, I don't like that because there's only... Okay, maybe it's just started, but this is a problem. You need more commits, you need more branches and more contributors, and they only started 3 days ago. All right, let's just see what it says. What does it do? Let's have a look here. Blah, blah, blah. It's a crypto thing. How many accounts can I create? Whatever. Mining. Let's have a look at the blog. Let's see what their Twitter says. Leaders and members. Leaders, that sounds dodgy. These keywords that just, you know, make me think that this is dodgy. Following one, 933 tweets. Indonesia. Investments, mining, peer-to-peer. So far, I haven't really seen... Alright, so most of it's translated. Maybe I can translate that. I can't read that. Sorry, I don't know. So then we go back here. I'm having a look at their blog. It's not loading. Yeah, so here's the problem. Where is this traded on? Like, what exchanges? You know, why is it not on Coin? Why is it not on CoinMarketCap? Is it because it's new? I mean, normally they pick them up. So, okay. I don't know really what it's saying here. It's a bit confusing. See, this is a problem. It doesn't really tell you what the hell it's doing. It does not make sense to me what you're actually doing until maybe you register a login. Maybe if I watched the video, it would tell me that we're, you know, what exactly we're doing. Probably don't have time to do that. Yeah. Instructions. Maybe it has something here. How to make a deposit. Affiliate program. Yeah, see this. I don't like affiliate programs because this sort of means it possibly is dodgy. This doesn't look like a real coin. This looks like a lending program. Okay, if you don't think it is, maybe let me know. But yeah, it doesn't feel like a normal coin. It's not in the normal places. Yeah, I'm not going to do any more than that on it because if you put your money into that stuff, you're only going to lose it. All right, next question. Hey, Stitchin. I think Stitchin. Hey, how you doing? Habib. Hi. How are you? What else have we got? Oh, when will the block reward half? Good question. Well, Google's our friend on this one. And I think it was when a year and a half away. So it will be called Bitcoin halving. Let's see if that tells me the date. This might even have a website for it. Bitcoinblockhalf.com. So this one says the next 857 days. So we'll just double check if it actually, where it says 12 BTC is the reward right now. Total blocks. Oh, here it is. So what it's saying is the Bitcoin block mining reward halves every 210,000 blocks. The coin reward will decrease from 12.5 to 6.25 coins. So there's another, according to this, we've got till 2020 before the next halving. So, you know, if you're a miner, let's pretend electricity stays the same price, which probably won't. But if you're going to if basically it drops in by 2020, when it happens, you'll only get 6.25 Bitcoins instead of 12.5 for each block reward. So what will happen is by 2020, if the price is not double what it is, then they're going backwards. So at the moment, let's say it's 20,000. Well, let's say it's 12,000 now. So right now, if we go into 2020 and it's at 24, and that's the 24,000 US. When it goes to 6.25 coins, they're going to be getting half of what they was before. So then basically Bitcoin needs to increase greater than that price level of say 24,000. So let's say it's 12 now, 24,000 has to go more than that, and they're banking on that to be more, and they're also trying to get their costs down, and that's why they're making money out of it. If you can keep the costs down for electricity, but it's 20, so the date that they estimated at the 4th of June 2020. So good little site there. I might save that one. I'll save that here. My trusty little Evernote. I'll just bookmark that one. Cool. So good question. I like that. That was excellent. So if you're not sure, you can Google stuff, but be careful with Google because you can always get something that's not correct. But I believe that to be correct. Aldi says, yeah, it's a lending program. Yeah, it is. Look, honestly, you're best off staying away from that. Just buy normal coins. So you might go, well, should I get into a lending program? No. Have a look at this market today. So there was, some stuff that went up 10%. Let's have a look at some of the big moves. So some of the ones in reverse, and I think we're only looking at the top 100 here. Yeah, I think this is only the top 100. So in the top 100, Populous went up 34% in one day. Okay, and look at that trend. It's actually been trending quite well. Some of these are up 20%. Even Qcoin shares is up 20%. So these coins now, if they continue this sort of growth, I mean, if you have a look at Populous, let's have a quick look at the chart. And I don't really know anything about Populous, but let's look at the last month. It went from $30 to $71. Okay, so and it's got this upward trend happening. So you've got to ask yourself, if you can get into a coin and it almost doubles or triples in a short period of time, let's say a month or so, it doesn't take long to increase the amount of money you have. So if you had only $100 maybe, and then you put it on a coin and it went up, twice the value or 3 times the value, that 100 becomes $200 or $300. And then what you do is, once you have that, you could have it in ETH, you could have it in Bitcoin, you could have it in something else. All you do then is you put that into the next coin that you're going to do. Okay. Now, if you've got other funds, then you can put it into other coins. But the general idea is you put as much as you can, if that you can afford to lose, into a coin that you think is going to continue to go up. Okay. And obviously, if you would leave it there the longer term, you'd probably have a better chance. But some people don't want to wait too long, and they want to get in and have some really big gains. And if you do your research well, and this sort of is a little bit about trading, you can find ones that really move. So, then it was interesting. You remember we had Tron, right, that went really huge. Let's have a look at Tron. So currently it's 6 cents. So it started out at less than a cent. Okay. And then not long after that, it went to 3, 4, 5 cents. And then in the beginning of January, it just went huge. It went right up to probably nearly 20, maybe 20 odd cents there, which is right at this top here. And now it went all the way back down to about 4 cents and currently is at 6 cents. So it's already had a big move. It may recover. It may take some time before it actually goes past that. Now, all this time here, nothing really happened, and it wasn't until this big move and then up here. Now, what's interesting is it nearly came up all the way back down after that big move, and that's what you've got to be careful of, because if you had bought in up here with this big move, thinking that it was going to continue, then you would have done your dough. Like pretty much, if you'd got in up at 20 cents. And then it went down to like 7 cents or 5 cents, you've lost 75-80% of whatever you invested in there. Okay, but if you had been holding on at this point when it was less than 1 cent, and then it moved up to when it was 10, 20 cents, let's say from 1 cent to 10 cents, that's like 10x. So if you had $100 in it, 10x, it would be $1,000 that you would have. Okay, and literally that is the most simplest way to make money with these coins. You get into coins that haven't like exploded yet, right? When you're in this period here, you get in beforehand and you've got to do your research, and then you'll get a move. And if you've already invested, you just wait, and then a move will happen. And then you've just got to exit out at the best time. And when you could have exited out there or there, but you decide on when you want to get out, and you're looking for those gains. And so you only have to have a few of these to make a difference. So if you 10x'd on this and you only had $100, then you have $1,000 to play with next time. And then hopefully what you do is you want to get into ones that do this. Don't then put your $1,000 into something that's spiked up like this, because then you could lose it. You've got to get into ones that before they move, you've got to get into them. And you can only do that by researching, learning, and also if you get into ICOs, you're essentially getting into the bottom price as well, which is why I do ICOs. So hopefully that will help a little bit. But yeah, that's what I would recommend for that question. Okay, cool. All right. Well, I think we've covered most questions. We're at about 45 minutes now. I haven't got any more new questions, but if you guys want to see me do anything, you want to learn about something. So we've covered a little bit about like what miners do. Mr. Bazinga asked about miners. So we've covered a little bit about that. So you can make money mining. It's just that you got to invest money. I think honestly, you're best off to start out small and then put money into some of the coins that you know of, like Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum. The top coins that you can see on CoinMarketCap. Those coins are generally, I wouldn't recommend Ripple, and some other coins I wouldn't recommend. But let's say Bitcoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin. These ones have been around for a while. Dash. And they're used for money transfer, Monero, Ethereum Classic. So these ones have been around for a while. If you start collecting these coins and start building it up, and that once you get used to that and start building it, then you can start trying different coins. And you might not find in the top 100, you might have to go to the next 100 to find a coin that's going to take off. Because if we have a look at view all, and we go in the last 24 hours, we go percentage increase. This will take a little bit to load. Slowly loading because it's loading all the cryptos. I think there's like 12, yeah, only 1,500 in this list. So hopefully it'll put them in order. I'm just waiting for it to load now. But this will tell you just how some of these coins, how much they move. Now, some of the coins are only got low volume, so you can't really put any money into them because you know they're not really trading, so it doesn't make any sense to do that. All right, so here we go. So Firefly coin. Now notice how the market cap and the price is low and the volume's only 33,000, and it's moved this. This one here you couldn't really trade because there's no market cap, and also you would check it to have a look on the actual exchanges to see what exchanges it's on. But let's scroll down, like this is only $1 million. Let's go to this one. Never heard of this. Vibrate, maybe Vibrate. So it went up nearly 94%, so it nearly doubled in price. Okay, so it's 64 cents, so it must have been like 30 cents, and it's worth it like 100 million. Okay, and it's like ranked at 182. So let's say we click on it and have a look at it. You might think, well, 100 million, that's a fair few coins. They got 200 million supply of coins. They're ranked at 182. You look at the chart and go, okay, so they've been around since October. They were around 24 cents. They went down to 12 cents. They're quite low, and now they're back up to 61 cents and 33 cents, and now they're back up to 67. So they were at like 12 cents, like 10 cents, and now it's heading back up towards 60 and 70 cents. So they're nearly 6 and 7x on this coin. If you'd put your money into this coin here, right now you would be at 6 or 7x, which really and that's a very quick time frame. Like we're talking 11th of December through to the end of January with a 6 and 7x. And this one's basically was moving sideways for some period of time, and you would check it out on what markets. So you can see that it's on Binance, okay, and that's where the most volume is, and followed by Upbit and Bittrex. So you would check out to make sure that it's got enough volume to trade it, and you could certainly find out about it. But basically you need to discover these when they're at this stage before they move into this stage. And it's easy to do once you have a look at the charts. Honestly, most of the information you can find on CoinMarketCap. Just by going through the list, you can find it. So this is, really valuable information, but it just takes a bit of time to do that sort of stuff. So you can get, 2x, 3x, 4x, 5x by getting into these coins at the right time, just by doing a little bit of research and seeing where they're at and whether they're good projects or not. Because, I don't know anything about this, but they've got to have some type of either news or information that's coming out about it. It must be a project that they need to continue. Otherwise, they're not going to, otherwise the price is going to come down and it's going to be nothing. So they're talking about here a smarter way to explore live music. Okay, and it's got artists, venues. So it must be like basically search for musicians, store artists. Okay, so that's interesting what it does. I wonder if they mention anything about the blockchain on there. So like trying to provide a service. And what else do they say? Let's have a look what their social says. And this is how you discover what they do. So they're trying to change the music industry. Yep. So I would say they're trying to become, do something with the blockchain for artists and venues and events. Maybe all this stuff is stored on the blockchain. I'm not sure. I'd have to look into a bit more. But this is interesting. So, it depends on what their, basically what their roadmap is. I wonder if they actually talk about that. Maybe there'll be somewhere where it talks about their roadmap. I don't know. Contribution guide. So this is the sort of thing you'd want to look for. What are they going to be doing in the future, and who's contributing towards it, and is it going to continue? So those are some things you can just do yourself to find out which ones are going to go well. So there you go. They've doubled in one day, nearly twice the price in one day. So this stuff happens all the time, even when the market not's moving. When the market is pretty flat, like it is with Bitcoin at the moment, and not really going anywhere, there is a lot of things always happening in the alts. You might have to go down like greater than 100 on the ranking to find something, but you do find something at the end of it. All right, I think that wraps it up. I think I might save those questions for later for BCN. I'll talk about that later. G'day Pro Teams, how you doing? Mr. Bazinga says more people should watch streams. They only get here when the video's up for giveaway. Yeah, look, some people want giveaways and other people, actually want to find out some information. Because I can give you $10 worth of Bitcoin Cash as, you can win that for being on the stream or, participating. That's all great. But honestly, the information you're going to get is way more worth than $10 worth of Bitcoin Cash. So, yeah, I just, you can make a lot more just by learning and doing, and that's what I've done, and that's just what I want to share with you. So what I might do, I think I've got, for you guys that are on, we've got, what have we got, 3 or 4 people here, I think, that are saved right to the very end, because I'm just about to finish, just for the fun of it. We're going to do a quick thing. You only get one go at it. I'm going to write down, like we did before, a quick number, so this is fair. I'm going to write down a number between 1 and 100, and I want you to have one go at it, put down a number, and the closest one I'm going to give $10 worth of Bitcoin Cash to for being on live tonight. All right, so I'm going to write down a number now, and the closest one. So I want you to just do it once. Anyone that does it more than once is going to not be able to participate. So I've got my number written down, and okay, so Stingen's decided on 60. Mr. Bazinga says 41. What do you think, Pro Teams? Are you still there? Who else have we got on board? Mr. Bazinga, Stingy, we'll just see who's left. We've got another 4 people. So 60, 41, I'll give it another 30 seconds, and then I'm going to pick a winner, and we'll see who it is going to be. For you guys that stick around, Music Service says 20. 10 more seconds. I know there's a bit of a delay in the stream, but I'm just going to wait 10 more seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7. Pro Teams, yep, you're in there with number 34. 2, 1. Okay, so the last one was Pro Teams. I'm going to draw it now. So out of all those ones, the closest was the Music Service, because I chose number 12 and they've got number 20. So congratulations, the Music Service. So all I want you to do, Music Service, is put in your Bitcoin Cash address for me, please. And I will send you $10 worth of Bitcoin Cash right now, just because you stayed at the end. I appreciate that. And thanks you other guys for participating. Awesome. Thank you. I received that address. Let me send you some Bitcoin Cash. And I don't do it always on the live streams, as you know. But, you never know. Sometimes at the end, I will do it for the people that stay on. Okay? So I'm just going to put that through now. But hopefully you'll learn more than what I'm paying you in $10, okay? Put some of this stuff into to practice. If you need more, and let me know that you received that. That'd be great. That should come through pretty much instant for you. So just let me know that you received it. That would be great. Cool. So don't forget, basically, if you've got anyone you want to share this with, you certainly let them know. If you guys have got any more questions, always get on the live stream if available, or put them into the post. So the way that works for anyone that's new is you like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon, and put your comments or a question with your Bitcoin Cash address, and I will draw a winner tomorrow. Once we have a winner, they'll be worth $10 Bitcoin Cash for you guys. Alrighty, well, I think that's about it. I'm going to wrap it up now. I appreciate everyone. So thank you, everyone, for joining me tonight. And I will see you tomorrow. Okay. Take care. Bye.